Hi everyone. Have you noticed it has become surprisingly difficult to talk about perfumes? Not because we don't have opinions, but because there are simply too many versions of everything. The best way to understand how perfumery has changed over the last 25 years is to compare how people spoke about perfume in the 2000s with how we speak about it today. The shift becomes immediately visible. These are real conversations I witnessed or participated in myself. Do you like Dior Addict? Yeah, it's so strong and sexy. Did you know it contains actual aphrodisiacs? Or it could be, no, I hate Dior Addict. It's so sweet and everyone wears it to the nightclub. I know, to me it smells like Saturday morning hangover. Perfume conversations revolved around the scent itself. How strong it was, how sweet, what it reminded you of. And here's a more recent conversation I heard. What do you think about the new Yves Saint Laurent Libre? The one in the golden bottle? No, the one in white, advertised by Dua Lipa. Is it different from the gold one? I've never smelled the gold one. Okay, never mind. Today, perfume discussions often begin with packaging and advertising before scent even enters the conversation. Because there are now so many releases that very few become universally recognizable. To exchange opinions now, we would probably need to stand in the store and smell it together. The early 2000s were the era of perfume blockbusters. One bottle, one scent, one campaign, one talking point. A perfume launched and it stayed, long enough to create collective memories. I remember owning a small miniature of Light Blue by Dolce& Gabbana, but I never bought a full bottle because I didn't want to smell like everyone else. It was everywhere, bright, citrusy, unmistakable. Then the pace of releases started accelerating. Perfumes no longer appeared as singular statements, they began appearing in cycles. New variations built around existing perfumes, often called flankers, multiplied. A fragrance that once existed as a single release could now become an entire line. Releasing a flanker or a limited edition is also significantly less expensive than developing a completely new bottle, name, and distribution strategy. At the same time, all kinds of stores have limited shelf space. If a fragrance line does not introduce something new regularly, it risks losing visibility, both in physical displays and in digital algorithms. This is what the industry calls shelf pressure. A fragrance was no longer simply launched, it had to be continuously maintained. Perfume blogging, as we know it today, would have been impossible in the early 2000s. There simply weren't enough launches to sustain weekly content. The new era, let's call it the era of perpetual release, didn't just change perfume, it changed the media around perfume. Novelty itself became the commodity. But constant updates affect more than packaging, they affect the scent itself. Back then, perfume formulas stayed the same for years. Some of them were bold, unusual, even polarizing. Today, formulas are updated much more frequently, and most new releases avoid anything too extreme or extravagant. The same shift appears in advertising as well. Here's the same Versace Bright Crystal campaign adjusted for different markets. Look closely, one version is more openly seductive, the other is more restrained. Not only the outfits, but even the facial expression. The fragrance is the same, the presentation adapts to the market. And this reflects a broader reality of modern perfumery. Modern fragrances are created for global markets. They must function across different climates, regulations, and cultural expectations. A scent that is polarizing may struggle internationally, so most releases today are deliberately moderated. Last summer, I wanted something fresh and citrusy. The first perfume that came to my mind was Light Blue, because in the 2000s it was the citrus perfume. Yes, I did own a miniature back then, but never a full bottle. So 20 years later, I went back to it. But the bottle looked different, and the fragrance felt warmer and not really citrusy anymore. So I tried other fresh scents and ended up buying other perfume, a Versace Yellow Diamond. But recently, walking through our local mall, I saw that the original version of Light Blue had returned to the shelves. And when I smelled it, I recognized it instantly. 20 years ago, perfumes were staying long enough to create collective memories. but also personal memories, and probably for the rest of my life. I also tried the latest J'adore editions, and surprisingly, they are much closer to the original fragrance than the versions that circulated in the 2010s. They were lovely, powdery, but forgettable. So it made me wonder, is the industry rediscovering the value of recognizability? If constant updates made it hard to even exchange opinions and recommendations about perfumes, maybe fewer but recognizable ones are becoming valuable again. Please let me know what is your opinion on that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.